So the last time that we kissed, and this will explain to you why it was the last time, was because we had eaten Chinese food earlier that day, and whenever he was, all up in my tonsils playing tonsil hockey, I felt a piece of rice in his mouth. A freaking piece of rice. I'm Brylee, and my first kiss was horrendous. At that time, I was just, like any other 14-year-old. I was unsure about myself. I was awkward. I didn't know. I was just a kid. The way that I met Tom was he worked at the grocery store in the town that we lived in. And I was talking to my brother about him, and he was like, "Oh, he's so nice. Let me set you up with him." I think I just liked the fact that I was in high school and he was older, and he was a bigger guy, and I liked that. He asked me to go to semi-formal with him, and then after that was when we hung out and we started dating. We had already kind of talked about kissing before, and I think it was mainly over text. And I looked online, all these different things, what do you do? Where do you put your hands? I'm so confused. And I kissed my hands probably practicing, let's be honest here. And I think one time I even got an app, was like, how good of a kisser are you? And I tried to do it to practice before, and it told me I was a terrible kisser, which was probably right at that point in time. He had come over to my house to hang out. It was a school night. I believe it was a Monday night, actually, to be specific. We were watching 50 First Dates, and whenever we were watching the movie, we started to, kind of entangle our hands, and then we started holding hands, and I remember being like, oh my god, I'm holding a boy's hand. Then the movie ended. It was time for him to go. I was walking him to the door, and I was telling him bye, and he was giving me a hug, and at this point I was chickening out. I was like, no, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's awkward right now. I hope it doesn't happen. And then at this point when we're hugging, he says, do we kiss now? And I was like, I guess so. And then we did, and it was one of those where he was right here, and it was like, you got right there, and it was like, oh no, do we do it? And then we did it, and it was 2 seconds, and it was terrible, and his breath smelled bad. It was not a good night. You know how your tongue just kind of fits in your mouth if you're a normal person? Well, his tongue was and so he liked to just use his tongue all the time. It was just all slobber, and I'd have to wipe it off every single time after.